Recording.
Hey guys, welcome back to Carlienne's Corner, the podcast for Adventures of Carlienne. I am Adrienne.
And I am Carl.
And we are reminiscing our year of travel, 2018 to 2019, basically just before COVID hit. And so we're catching up on all of the cities that we went to, and we have made it to Lyon, France, from Nice.
France.
Right.
Yeah. We arrived in the evening, right? Yeah, we arrived in the evening, and just so happens to be the Festival of Lights. It's not December yet. No, it is December. It's about close to mid. Yeah. Because Morocco was like December 1 to 5 or something like that. Yeah. So, this is like beginning of December, and a Festival of Lights. Christmas is almost starting to happen, and yeah. What do you think of Festival of Lights? Like, we were there. It was like the last night of it, right?
Yeah, we made it just in time for the last evening, and I think it's like a weekend essentially of a bunch of light exhibits and that they have like throughout the city. It's like a really long standing tradition that started with, a religious origin where people would like light candles and put it in their windows, like all the people of Lyon. And then it slowly became this more, artsy thing where different artists would create, whether it was like actual structures that lit up, or they would project different things, and then or even like a light show on like a water fountain type of thing. So like very cool, and it was just like a really nice way to like dive right in to like Lyon. Like we basically checked in, then looked up a place for dinner, and then like walked around to like look at all these lights. So that was like a really great first evening.
Yeah. And of course, just like we did in Lisbon when we checked in, we looked for a place that had noodles.
I don't know if we specifically looked for noodles.
No, we didn't. We found a place that had noodles.
Yeah, hand-pulled noodles. Not just any noodles, guys.
So
Hand
seems like
noodles.
that's the first thing we got to do everywhere we go from
So
now
weird.
on. Yeah. But the spot was called, sorry, I suck at French, but that's not what the spot is called. But the spot is called Les Pattes Vivantes de Lyon. For you Americans out there, it's Les Pattes Vivantes de Lyon. I'm just kidding. But and this place had decent, hand-pulled noodles.
Yeah, it was pretty busy. Like it's a really full restaurant. Like the tables were really packed close together. Definitely not COVID times. But and it was so funny because I had trouble with the door. Do you remember? I think I was like trying to pull it when it was like a push, but there was like no sign or anything, and I thought it was locked, but I was like, there's tons of people in here, there's no way. And then finally like somebody who was leaving like opened the door, and I was just like, oops, okay,
it's a slide.
Yeah, like oh okay, and then just like walked in.
But then wasn't like the people we were sitting next to, it's like it just felt like they'd never eaten Asian food before.
Yeah,
they were like wondering what the hell it was
like a little bit strange. Yeah, they were like some European, not sure, but I mean the restaurant was full of like both, like a good mix of people, and it just seemed like they were like a little bit hectic in terms of service. Like people were like slow in getting what they ordered, so there was a little bit of that problem. Like, and the couple next to us, like they got one thing, and then so they were kind of like sharing it until the second thing came. And they didn't know how to use chopsticks, so they were like trying to figure that out and stuff. It was cute. We were like debating whether or not to like engage in conversation, but in the end we didn't.
Yeah, we just enjoyed our noodles by ourselves.
Yeah. Luckily somehow we got our order like just fine, but there were tables like we saw them having to like apologize.
Maybe because we're Asian. In an Asian place.
Who knows?
But yeah, and so after that we walked around the city because of the whole Festival of Lights, and the whole city's just like it's all the streets are blocked off.
Yeah,
because
so it's totally safe to walk.
It's encouraged for everyone to just walk around the city to the different displays. In every corner, just like in New York where they have those hot dog stands, there's someone selling like
Mulled
mulled wine.
Mm-hmm,
And you know, it's up to you if you want to buy it or not. We didn't partake, but it was everywhere. And just like, if you're from the Bay Area, you know of like Beta Breakers, where it's just like people are just like walking, not necessarily, yeah, dressed or whatever, and drinking, you know, just having a good time. It was basically that. And so it was really
At
nice.
night,
Yeah,
though.
at night. And then like everything pretty much goes back down to like the main square where they had a really cool like Ferris wheel.
Yeah, Bellecour or something.
And
Yeah,
then,
the Ferris wheel that's lit up and a bunch of other things. Like there was like a VW bug van or
yeah,
something
like
with a light.
some like light exhibit there
Yeah.
and throughout the city. And then like there's a bridge. I forgot like one of the bridges where you can see down. It was like a castle or something, or some large building where there was another light display, and you can see it from far away. So like that first night was a really cool like, you know, Lyon immersion.
Yeah, because it felt very like lively, even though it was nighttime and everyone was out and just like having a good time. It wasn't like something specifically touristy, so there was like tons of locals, and you know, was like kind of like Christmassy because it was lights, but it wasn't like, you know, overly Christmassy. But just super neat, and we've had a couple experiences during our trip with like light festivals, but this one was the first one that we came across, and yeah, and I think it was just like spectacular, and it was just like a really nice way to start our time in Lyon.
And then the next day, basically, we wanted to go to the market. So there's like down the street from us, there was a market that happens the majority of the days in the week.
Yeah.
And it's just like this crazy long like farmers market, and like they also
And flea market.
and flea market. Yeah. And it's called Marché de la Croix-Rousse or Croix-Rousse, something like that. Man, really apologize. But yeah, so like we got there, we got a lot of our ingredients from there. We cooked a lot this time. This time
we
around.
had the Airbnb we were at was like a full, you know, apartment.
Yeah, it's
with
much
a
bigger than
kitchen and
a
everything.
whole, you know. But yeah, so we cooked a lot. We got a lot of like food from that market, and then we would always get baguettes. So we would get cheese from the market, and then there's a boulanger down the street from us, and so we would like every day get like our baguette
Yeah.
and
It's
a
like the one
chocolate croissant if there was.
Yeah, the one phrase I learned to repeat is just bonjour, une baguette s'il vous plaît. And it's just like, okay. And then, you know, you felt like you were a local, and that was kind of nice. Like that was definitely the aspect of like, ooh, the dream of like living in France, like near a bakery and just like going every day and then, you know, getting fresh bread.
Yeah.
And also like being recognized too.
Yeah. Towards the end of the week or whatever, it's like, felt like regulars. It was really nice. That boulanger or that bakery is called La Boulanger de Chartreux.
I don't know what to do with X's and Z's, guys. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, so that was actually really nice. And then one of the other things that we really enjoyed about Lyon was this Lyon Zoo, and then there's this the park is called Parc de la Tête d'Or. And so
Goldhead.
yeah, and there's like this indoor botanical garden, right? And then out of nowhere, like not out of nowhere, but like it's a huge park. Hi, Kachang. Kachang is here squeaking her toy, but like just yeah, down like pretty close by there's like a zoo there.
Yeah, it was like really interesting because it's a free zoo, by the way. It's just, you know, the city maintains it and whatnot. And so coming from, you know, the States where we're like zoos are a big, you know, separate private entity and you pay for it and stuff. It was a nice surprise. I was like, oh, when you go there, it's just, you just walk around and it's very popular with the families and you're walking around with all the kids and stuff. And it, you know, it was just lovely. And even though it was kind of cold and I was surprised by how many animals were like, just, you know, out and about and alive. And
also, the park just had a ton of deer. Almost felt like Nara in Japan, where there's like deer. There's like a good amount of deer everywhere around the park. But yeah, there was supposedly a giraffe, I think, also.
yeah,
but
yeah. I mean, we
didn't
saw
see
the
it.
Zebras, but not the giraffes. And then
There was a lion,
yes, there was.
which
And-
is crazy. It's like, this is a free park, you know. There was like a big old buffalo as well, like not a, I don't know, maybe not a buffalo,
bison.
but it was huge. It was like those animals with like, I don't know. It looked like a bison or a buffalo
right.
with like that, the horns where it's like, looks like a,
The big forehead.
yeah, big forehead and yeah, crazy. Crazy free
Yeah,
thing. And then the
so-
botanical, the indoor.
Yeah, and as you walked around, they had a bunch of like greenhouses for the botanical garden, which we kind of like ran into because it's warm inside. So after getting like really cold and like walking around looking at the parakeets and the monkeys and the, you know, and you're just like, okay, like it's getting kind of cold, like, you know, and then we found the greenhouses, and so we were able to go in, and then all the tropical areas are obviously warm. But yeah, it was like really beautiful, and I thought that those greenhouses in particular, because we've seen a number, were really pretty.
And this is free.
Yeah.
I think that's the craziest part, because this is easily something that you'd pay for here. You know, and I think somebody had to have the appreciation enough to like offer it for free. Like, this is a free thing. We think people will go here because, you know, they'll use this space, and we don't care about making the money, or maybe they do, but you know, this is their offering kind of thing. But you know, I honestly think when a city does that for like its people, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's partly taxes and stuff like that. But I think it is about this, you know, something we did notice in Europe in multiple cities, that sort of these, you know, common goods, or you can say like benefits or whatever of living in the city, like it really caters to like the well-being of the citizens, you know, like thinking about even museums that are always free, like thinking about like, well, that's free education for kids.
And it's the history, it's the city's history, or general history of the country. And yeah, it's learning for like, so that, you know, there's no excuse for the next generation to know where they came from, which is really, really good.
Yeah. So definitely something that we were impressed by.
And then we also hit up View Lyon, which is another like viewpoint of Lyon, obviously from the name. And I think right next to it is like, there's a church, right? There's a church, cathedral next to it. But then if you look over, you can see the river, you could see Lyon, you could see, it's just very nice lookout there. And so again, if you're watching this on YouTube, you'll see, you know, some of the pictures, some of the video that we took during our stay in Lyon. And if you're not, then, you know, we encourage you to check it out on YouTube or on our blog. Our blog also has all of the pictures and a more detailed of our things in of all our visits, from budgeting, from the places we went, the address, and where we stayed, and so on. So anyway, yeah, so View Lyon was really nice. Took a lot of photos there. We didn't go inside the church though, but and
then Carl had to use the bathroom.
Yeah, I had to use the bathroom. No, and it's not like you know, I had to go pee. Like, no, this is a full on. My tummy was getting attacked, so I needed to go. So we were scrambling to find a bathroom, and we were lucky enough to stumble upon this place called the Gallo-Roman Museum. And
so we just decided to go. Luckily, the entrance fee is like very small. It's like €4 or something a person, like really minimal. And then so that Carl could go use the restroom. And then we were like, well, we paid for it, we might as well like take a look. And it's like really cool, because the museum is all about basically like Lyon's history of like all the people, like the Romans that were here, who like all the different time periods and conquerors and stuff like that. And all of the artifacts that are on display are like what was found in Lyon. So it, you
And
know,
it's interactive too. Some of the exhibits were like very kid friendly, interactive for them to learn. Not just kid friendly, but like someone who is in their late 20s and
Who has
wants to
the-
have fun and has zero patience in museums. Like it was perfect.
There was a really cute, like really well designed kid section. Yeah. I mean, for the rest of it, obviously you can't touch the artifacts, but it was really neat to kind of be like, oh, like you feel like the hyper connection of like, oh, this is like here, this happened here. Whereas there's a lot of museums that have exhibits from all over the world and you're like, it's super neat, but you don't necessarily feel like that same sense of like, it's happening now, or it happened here particularly, which was kind of cool.
Kind of makes you like proud, like, oh yeah, this happened in my hometown kind of thing. Yeah, kind of like how Hayward people are very proud that Tom Hanks went to Chabot.
I mean, yeah. Everyone started from somewhere, even the smallest places.
Yeah. Or that, The Rock was born in Hayward. That Mark Curry, went to school at Cal State Hayward. Hayward's awesome. Nah, it's all right. But yeah, so that was actually, a fun stumble upon place that we went to. And then outside of the museum, there's this big old
The amphitheater.
amphitheater. It's just crazy. Like Roman amphitheaters are always like crazy to see or be in, like especially like in the Colosseum or like things like that. It's just like, wow,
Yeah, definitely. And there was like no one else when we went. Like,
I'm sure everyone
anyone.
got scared after I used the bathroom, right? So they're just like, oh, we shouldn't go here. No, but,
Sorry, guys.
but like I think that's probably a recommendation we have, because just like Nice, maybe because we had a short time there, we didn't get to venture out again. But I think we kind of just had this mentality of we wanted to be kind of like a local. And so we went to the market, we went to the bakery, and then that was pretty much it. We walked around here and there. We didn't explore too much. We were just fiending for the slowdown. I think at this point we were really like feeling the repercussions of going too fast. Just we're tired, like we didn't get time to settle. And so instead of going out and seeing all that we could, even though we saw a good amount of things, we just wanted to like chill.
Just enjoy the city and the space, and
because it's a really lovely city, right? Like with the bridges, the walkways, and then you got the river. We didn't eat anywhere or sit anywhere where we could just like river watch or people watch or anything. But that's honestly one of my favorite things to do, is just people watch and sit and do nothing. I'm not a big drinker. Like I won't like sit and, people watch with a beer or anything, but like, I just want to just hang out, like, and do nothing. And I think that's really nice. So Lyon, again, just like Nice, we didn't do very much. I was still trying to recoup. But I think the market was definitely like the highlight for me, as well as the Festival of Lights, because, it's very, very cool to like for a city to come together and just celebrate stuff like
and
that.
it's just
and
so
you're
like
a part of it.
telling to like festivals in general, like culturally, like learning about what the history or religion or what's important to people.
Yeah.
So super neat.
Yeah. Is it a place where we would go again? Would you want to? Do you feel like?
Yes, I would. Of course, I would love to go back, but it's not something like I need to go back to.
Yeah.
Like some of the places where we were like, like we definitely like didn't get to do what we wanted to do, like not enough time. Like Lyon was super chill, and definitely like the first time we got to really live that kind of like local slow pace and enjoy everything. but I don't feel like we missed anything. It would just be like to go back. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Go back to the market and do exactly the same thing we did, just for longer, right? We would probably go to the bakery and grab stuff for a picnic and go to Le Tête d'Or and and just hang out with some deer and some lions. Warm up in a botanical garden So definitely a lovely place. Highly recommend you guys go check it out, just because some of these like cities that are much smaller than like France or like Seville to like Madrid or Barcelona, like these little cities are just nice and pleasant. It really feels like you can be on vacation. Like sometimes vacation doesn't feel like vacation because you're scrambling to see everything. But screw that. I don't know. I'm not telling you how to vacation. But see the things that you want to see for sure, but make sure you just have time to
dedicate time to actually being able to like process and absorb your trip and to breathe without having to feel overwhelmed.
Because sometimes your memories are only of like, oh, I remember the tour bus going to this place. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like nonstop. Like, oh, the hotel sucked. Oh, I remember getting in the tour bus of that and then going here. And then that's your vacation. Maybe some people like that, and there's nothing wrong with that, if you like it. But for us, again, it's like getting lost in the city, exploring a city, because there's a lot of little pockets here and there that, you might find that are like very unique. You won't see that, like Lisbon and its murals, those cool murals, and how Lisbon is.
Lyon also has the murals. Oh yeah, the fake building.
Yeah, there's a whole wall of a building, and like you don't notice it because the mural is so well like muraled that you're like 3D. Yeah, it's meant to look like a real thing. You're like, oh shit, like that. There's a person hanging out. Oh, that's fake. Like there's not a person hanging out of that window. Like, and it's pretty cool. So there's a few number of those in the city as well. And, so anything else about Lyon?
No, it was just a really charming city. And I think, definitely good to experience France in a really like low key way. Yeah.
So if you've ever been to Lyon or are from Lyon, let us know what you guys think. Again, we only spent so long here, like in Lyon and in Nice. That's why these podcast episodes are a little shorter this time. But they're places, we need to give a second chance. Not that the first chance was like bad or anything, but they
deserve more.
They deserve more. And so I think that's why we recommend them, because nothing was terrible about them, but
it left us wanting more.
Yeah, yes. Definitely. So that is all. What was the next stop after Lyon?
Then we head over to Switzerland.
Yeah. So by train, right? So we're back on the train again and heading to Switzerland, and that will be the next one. So if you're listening to this as a podcast, then give us a rating, a vote, or however the hell it works. If you're watching this on YouTube, give us a thumbs like, or wherever you are. Follow us on socials. If you want to talk about traveling or anything, let us know. Like the first place you're going to travel once, we're all allowed to internationally travel safely and things. Where are you guys going to go? Hit us up on Scene, download the app, the description, all of that stuff is in the description. And so
we'll catch you on the next one.
Switzerland.
Bye.
Bye.